There we go. All right, so it looks like I've been live for about 10 seconds and the thing froze. So what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. Pretty much this is our Sunday Stock Talk. So for those that are joining us for the first time, I have a group. It's Tactical Solutions. It's a free networking group. It's a free Facebook group. We have a little bit over 52,000 members worldwide. And the thing that we do best is we just share our best practices, share our mistakes, in an effort to promote overall group growth. I don't tell people where to buy. They don't tell people, we don't tell one another, where to buy or where to sell. It's pretty much just a networking platform. So we'd love to have you as a part of the team, and that's going to be the 5th link in the description if you would like to join. This Sunday Stock Talk is designed to, how the stock market is open Monday through Friday. It's designed to kind of get us ready and prepared for, the top stocks that we see value in. So this is just simply me breaking down stocks that a couple of our members that are joining us live, asked for me to break down. I share my whole thought process, and I hope that me breaking down these stocks can guide you in the right direction when it comes down to you breaking down stocks for the week to come. Something that I really want to make sure that you guys understand when it comes down to our group, and what I can really hope I guide you in the right direction, is we have 3 rules within our community, and we don't tell, we don't trade or invest in anything that we don't understand. We don't invest or trade based on other people's opinion, and we always have a plan before it is that we take a position. So why is that important? And that's one of the most important things. Why is it important to know or have a plan before purchasing a stock? The whole purpose of investing in the stock market is for that specific stock or ETF or equity that you are investing in is to appreciate in value. And the only way that you can really have a fundamental understanding of the investment that you're taking is if you have a proper plan. So the way that you can grow your account is if you have a proper risk management format. So therefore, if the stock offers more potential for profit than potential for loss, the stock might be considered a good stock, and it might be worth taking. Therefore, if it offers 5% potential for profit and a 1% potential for loss, it's a 5-to-1 ratio. So it's a pretty good ratio, but it's the planning and it's the managing the risk that's very important. So I hope that throughout this entire week and throughout your trading or investing career, that you can take that to heart and to really guide you in the right direction when it comes down to never taking a position blindly, and always having a plan before taking a position. For myself and the people that it is that I mentor, we are not people that invest or just shoot in the dark. We always have a plan when investing, and we only take positions in stocks that we think can hit us, and not hit us, but that can actually get us to our weekly goals. So some people have goals of making 5%, some people have goals of making 15%. Therefore, we ensure that our plan for the specific position that we are about to take is actually working towards that 5 or 15% growth. Again, you don't invest in what you don't understand, and you don't invest just because someone else is saying that this stock is trending or it's going to go to the moon, right? So I hope that you guys can really take that to heart, and let's get right to it. So I'm going to be breaking down a series of stocks. Again, these are not suggestions. These are not in any way anything that I would really like you to trade. Again, this is just me sharing my best practice, and I'm breaking down for a couple of people that are going to be joining us live. So let's get right to it. So what's going on, guys? I'm so happy to see that all of you guys are joining us live. What's up? I'm getting called Pickle Rick again. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, Luis Estrada? What's going up? Daniel Dole. What's up, Steven? So we do have a format that when it comes down to calling out stocks, we want to make sure that you have a plan when calling them out. So if you guys go to our Discord group chat in the rules section, it's number 7, and it puts it in a proper ticker format. Let me just make sure that I can actually have it up. All my people that are part of my mentorship program use it. So what I mean by that is this. So if you guys can see, this is a proper ticker format. So they put the ticker symbol, support, resistance, desired entry point, sell point, stop loss, and why it has potential. And that just gives me a better understanding that they actually have a plan when trading, and they're not actually just calling out a random stock. Therefore, it gives me a little bit more confidence that, okay, they actually know what it is that they're talking about. They're not wasting my time, and I'm not wasting theirs either. So let's kind of get right to it. I'm going to talk about the couple of stocks that I see value in. Again, not suggestions, just the ones that I see value in. They're actually, a lot of them are the ones that are following up within the past week. And the reason that I wanted to talk about these is if you guys watched my video for the top stocks of October for this month, you guys would have seen that there's a couple, there's a good amount of stocks, but a lot of them were not at their prime. So I simply set alerts. This is a perfect example. I hope that you guys can see it. Yeah, I think you guys can. So this is ESPR. I'm going to break it down. This is why this is looking at a TD Ameritrade in a 180-day analysis. So this is ESPR. And the reason that I saw so much potential is if you guys saw one of my top stocks for this month, this is one of them. I don't know if it was actually in that main video, but I called it out 100%, I think, in our Sunday Stock Talk last week. And it was when it was at $43 or $44. The reason that I called it out to be a potential good pick, again, potential good pick, is because of the previous support that it had at $44. If you could see, not once, not twice, but it also had a previous resistance at $44. Let's look at it at a 1-year analysis as well. This is something that me and the mentorship group have been doing extremely well, and we're only trading quality stocks with a long term of an uptrend. And we buy the dips. We buy the dips when they get the confirmation of the uptrend. So we don't buy as they're following. We buy as they start trending up and start showing signs of a bounce. And that is exactly why I called out the support at $44. That doesn't mean anything. Just because I called it out, it doesn't mean anything. What we always wait for before buying in is the confirmation of the trend that we were trying to identify. That was the bounce at $44 and for it to start building that cup trend. So we focus on a long-term growth so it looks like a solid company, that it's appreciating in value just like I want my money to be doing. And we're looking at previous trends, right? That a place where it normally bounces at, that was around $43, $44, but that really doesn't matter to me. What really mattered to me was when it confirms that cup trend, when it confirms that bounce, And on Friday, the stock had a ridiculous day when it came down to breaking the $44 resistance, $45 resistance, $46 resistance, as well as the $47 resistance price point. So does that mean 100% that ESPR is a 100% good buy? No, it has the next resistance at $50, and that's why it's really good to identify the low point and the high points. That's all I looked at. So when I looked at this, I drew these trend lines. So there was no trend lines, but I could see normally where it bounces at and normally where it peaks out at. So we could see that it peaks out around $50 sometimes. Therefore, that's going to be as a known resistance. It bounces at around $50 sometimes. So that's going to be a potential resistance. So what is it that I'm looking for when it comes down to trading ESPR? This is one that I took a position on last week, if you guys don't remember. Looking at it at a 5-day analysis, something that I'm looking at is I can see within the 5-day analysis that it is looking somewhat overbought, meaning that within just of how much it actually grew on Friday, because it went and broke the support that it had at the resistance that it had at $44, and it hit highs of nearly 48. It hit highs of 47.50. So with that being said, it grew a huge amount, but I think that it's going to experience somewhat of a pullback to about $45 to $46. The reason that I say that is because of this. So let me look at it, the 180-day analysis. I think it's a little overextended and that it jumped up a little bit too quick, that it's going to pull back a little bit and then start trending back up if it consolidates properly to that $50 price point. The reason that I say that is usually when it starts to really ride back up, it has a little pullbacks based on previous trends. That's all I'm going off of. It grew in price very quickly on Friday. I think that it's expected to see somewhat of a pullback because there won't be such high demand on Monday. I don't think, unless there's some form of news or catalyst that will act as a huge demand, I think that ESPR can pull back a little bit before it actually starts continuing to rise again. If it drops all the way back down to $44, that's not necessarily something that I would expect ESPR to do because it's gapped up so quick. But I think that this thing has the potential to bounce back to $46, and then we can see it building, that consolidation at that price point and then, continuing to rise. At the current price point that it's at right now, I think it closed at $47.27. So let's just say it's $47.26. To $50, it offers 5.85% potential for profit. When I called it out when it was at that $44 price point, when it was going to confirm that uptrend, it offered that, 13% plus potential for profit within a swing trade. You just have to ask yourself, does this make more sense for you to trade? A higher quality stock with easier trends to identify, waiting for the confirmation, and then when it does, it's just much easier to trade since you don't have to spend all day on the computer waiting for all these momentum stocks, or because you don't have the time to actually be trading all these stocks that people are overhyping. This is an approach that a lot of people that are part of our mentorship program have really been benefiting from because they see the potential, they understand what they're investing in, and it's a profitable niche of stocks that we're focused on. Reputable companies with common trends, and we just buy the pullbacks once we receive that confirmation that they're trending back up. Let me give you another example. So that was my breakdown for ESPR. If you're part of my mentorship program, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I put this all together for you nicely, just like how we do in that stock ticker format. And then I'll put up a picture in that PDF format so you guys can have it for this upcoming week. So that was my call out for ESPR. Let's go ahead and talk about GPro. So GPro was one of the top stocks that I called out for this month, as well as from our previous Sunday stock talk. I said that I saw this to have the potential to start to consolidate based on its previous trend of the pump up, pullback, consolidation, pump up, pullback, consolidation. And just, again, it did not have to play out like this. It wasn't 100%, but the demand just grew. It's just the previous trend. And it pulled up to about $10. Its earnings report is coming up on the 1st, so that is something to look out for, because regardless if it actually hits its earnings or not, if its guidance can be a little off, then that could actually cause GoPro to pull back. So just make sure that you're careful with that. I see GoPro to have a lot of potential for profit from $10 to that $11 price point, if not even higher than $12, because every time that it does receive a little push, it makes new highs based on its previous trend. So I think that it could actually hit $12 to $12.50 on this second push. Again, GoPro, it's a reputable company. It has a solid uptrend within the past 180 days. And the only thing is that it has its earnings coming up. So I'm personally going to wait after its earnings before I choose to swing trade GoPro, just because I don't feel comfortable holding these specific stocks. I would just simply say GoPro seems like a very good quality company. It broke above the EMA. It's showing signs of a solid uptrend. And it looks like it really has potential to continue trending up based on its previous, pumps. So with that being said, you break down and see what it is that you guys see value in altogether. So let's see. Man. All right, let me go ahead. I just wanted to see if you guys had any questions. Let me go ahead and break down AMD. AMD is a perfect example of a company that hit its earnings report, but because of its guidance that did not meet long-term investors, caused this huge sell-off. AMD was showing huge signs of an uptrend. If you guys don't know, AMD, it's a multi-billion-dollar company. Huge solid uptrend, and it was nearly hitting its almost highs of the year, right, at about $15. With that being said, that was a resistance. It pulled back, and now it pulled back to about 1150, what was that, like 24? Not too sure what it was, but that was its previous support. We called out the $12 support. It did pull back a little bit longer or a little bit further down. But with that being said, now we're really waiting for that consolidation and for that uptrend. So that's why I'm calling out AMD as a good potential stock to keep in your watch list as long as it confirms that uptrend. Does that mean that you should trade it 100%? No. If it does not confirm the uptrend, then there's no reason to invest in a company that's not showing any signs of an upward trend. But with that being said, it has shown previous trends before that after its earnings, it does pull back, and then it shows signs of an uptrend. So with that being said, I actually think that AMD has the potential to exceed $13 or $14, and that's really just it. So, I feel like this one offers much more potential for profit than potential for loss, and it offers nearly from its current price point. Let's say we wait for the confirmation and the break above $12. Something that I would wait for if I wanted to invest in AMD at the moment was I would wait for that uptrend. I would wait for it to break above $12, and with that being said, I would try to sell anything above $13.50. I think that it really does offer that potential. I think $13.50 is a pretty solid resistance based on its previous trend, so it offers about 12% potential for profit. So as long as you wait for that confirmation and you wait for that uptrend, then I feel like the potential for profit is much greater than the potential for loss. So let me go ahead and move on to the next one. So again, AMD is also one that I think that offers a lot of potential, but we need to wait for that confirmation. And until that confirmation, I don't think it's a stock worth trading at the moment because it's still showing signs of an uptrend. So simply set your alerts when it breaks above $12 and follow up with it. That's the whole point of having a watch list and then setting alerts. You trade stocks when they become relevant and when they become, when their prices are a little bit more in your favor, as well as their trends. So I hope that makes sense for you. So the following one is UGAZ. UGAZ is one that we've traded multiple times before. I think that there's no question that it had a previous trend of trading at around $9.55. That was a previous support. It pulled back and it started to really consolidate at about $9. So what is it that I'm waiting for on UGAZ? For that uptrend. I think UGAZ offers huge potential especially because of its previous trend that it showed within this margin of when it would bounce at 950, hit that resistance at $11. It's hit that resistance once, twice, and 3 times. So we know that that's a resistance, and it's bounced twice with, the callouts that we've had at 950. So we know that it reacts pretty well with these trends. So what is that we can simply wait for? It's for that cup trend to form. You could even wait, if you want to be a little bit more conservative, wait for the break above $9.50 for it to be back where it used to trade. It still offers huge potential from $9.50 to $11. And it doesn't mean that you have to day trade it. If it confirms your trend and you're comfortable swing trading it, then it offers 15% potential for profit. Let's say you have $10,000 and it usually takes about 3 to 4 days when it starts indicating signs of an uptrend. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it took, when it started seeing signs of an uptrend, 1, 2, 3 for it to hit its uptrend. So about 3 to 4 days when it really starts showing signs of an uptrend for AMD to experience that 15% growth. Obviously, it's not like your penny stocks that can move 15 to 20% within a matter of minutes. But if you're looking for a company that offers a solid trend that's easy to understand and it confirms that trend, and you like investing in either stocks or ETFs that show signs of solid upward momentum, then UGAZ might be something that you might want to add to your watch list. If you have $10,000, that could be $1,500 that you have the potential of making, or 15%, however it is that you want to position it. But again, it's not about trading every single day or trading as many stocks as you can because of all this, the PDT rule. It's really trading when the opportunity presents itself. So instead of focusing on like, hey, what is everyone else trading? What's showing the most potential right now? Just make sure that you understand, air out all the noise, filter out all the noise, and then just focus on what you truly understand and can manage. It's much better, I think, to be experiencing 5 to 10% consistent growth on a weekly basis than for someone to be up, 50% one week and 30% down the following week. That's very discouraging, and that doesn't promote a lot of, long-term growth. Just because you're taking really big pumps, but then you're also taking really big hits. And if you don't know how to manage your risk, then those hits can sometimes be greater than your actual profits. And because that risk management isn't there, then you're going to start losing money when you're investing instead of actually your initial reason of investing is to make money. So just keep it simple, air out all the noise, plan out your trades, and trade stocks that you see value in and that you truly understand. If you're buying into something and you're asking someone, hey, when should I sell? Then you probably should not have bought in the first place. Yeah. The last one that I'm going to talk about, the one that I see value in, is GNC. So when it comes down to GNC, this one, big picture, because of its earnings, had a huge sell-off. So with that being said, it has a huge sell-off from, let's see. If we look at this 180-day analysis, we can see that it had a previous support at around $6.50. So it makes sense why it is that, it almost hit that low point. It has a pretty solid support at about $7. That's normally where it would consolidate around. And then it has a resistance at around $8. So that potential is a little bit greater than 8%, a little greater than 10%. This is one of the top stocks that I'm watching for this upcoming week, as long as it confirms that uptrend. This is one that I traded on Friday and one that I feel very comfortable with, but it's because I understand it and I understand the trend. It's not one that someone told me to trade. It's not one that, someone told me that 100% it's going to go to the moon. It's because I understand the trend. I know that it's a reputable company, and because of its earnings, it had a huge sell-off, and I understand those trends. So as long as I get that confirmation for the uptrend, it's not 100% that I'm going to make money, but because I know how to manage my risk and I know my potential for profit is much greater than my potential for loss, it's an investment worth taking for myself. And that's why I consider investing GNC for this upcoming week, as long as it confirms that uptrend and the break above $7. So that's something that we're waiting for. So if GNC breaks below 650 and continues trending down, is that something that I want to invest in? Do I want to invest in something that's showing signs of a downtrend? No, I don't care that, oh, but it's such a cheap price. It has to bounce. It doesn't have to do anything. And there's no indication of what you're hoping for happens. You have to wait for the confirmation, let the graphs do the talking, and if you feel comfortable investing based on what it is that you're being given, then that can not only build your confidence, but give you a better understanding that, wow, I'm actually really starting to understand these trends and how to identify a good buy and what is maybe might not be the best buy altogether. So something that I'm going to do now is So we got Angel. Angel's one that has been joining us for quite a while. And he says, yes, Ricky, I made so much money on GNC and AMD. So, I mean, that's really good to hear. So I hope that it's something that, you really saw value in. And obviously, I'm not here to tell anyone where to buy or where to sell. So I hope that, these videos, not only my breakdowns, but the stocks that we choose to focus on, kind of just the idea of trading quality stocks, can really guide you guys in the right direction. So we have someone asking, how am I? I'm doing well. We've stayed busy today. So I want to ask you guys, what is it that you guys did for your Sunday? I went to the Sunday service with my roommates and with my girlfriend. And then we went to breakfast at Village Inn. It's kind of been a little bit of a routine, just hanging out together on Sunday and taking it a little bit easy. My girlfriend works on her homework, and then I work on, Tech Buds and the mentorship program, just following up with people. So it's been a fun, kind of relaxing day. Haven't worked a huge amount, but just been trying to keep up with all the messages and stuff like that. So it's been good. I hope you guys have had a pretty solid Sunday, and I hope that you guys are excited for this upcoming week. I love Mondays and stuff like that. So I actually, so we got a guy a little upset. I wanted to ask you guys something real quick. There's a really cool message. And I'm sorry that I'm going a little bit on a tangent. We'll get right back to it. So I wanted to ask you, I got a direct message, and it's been one that I've been getting a little bit more often. And it came down to the understanding that, people really wanted to understand how it is that I got started, and also like who were like people that I looked up to. And to answer that question of who it is that I looked up to when I initially started investing and for my entire life, right? I want to give you guys 3 people. It's not even like a person. So first of all, the 2 main people have to be my dad and then my brother. My dad was someone that, and I'm going to tell you guys why. My dad has been someone that from a very early age showed me that the field that he began to work in is something that he really loved. So he was a general contractor. If you guys have any family members that, put down tile and stuff like that, or kind of like a little handyman, that was like, his little side business and stuff like that. He came from Mexico, and then he created that business with his brothers. He had like 5 brothers or something like that, and that was their business. And it was an amazing thing because I could see that just by hearing him out, he did it for like 30 years, and he loved every single day. I would go to work with him, and again, this is because I'm Hispanic or something like that. So I think this is why it is. But I would wake on the weekends. My dad would take me to work with him. I hated the weekends because I had to work with him and doing this manual labor. And obviously, I'm not the most handyman as you guys can imagine. My girlfriend and my roommates are cracking up. But it came down to the understanding that I knew my dad loved what it is that he did. And for 30 years, 40 years, he provided for me and my family, and he just simply loved what it is that he did. I don't like manual labor myself. And he told me from a very early age, this is why you need to go to school, and if you don't like, this specific field of work, then this is why you should work so hard to pursue something that you're truly passionate about. Just like my brother from a very early age, as I remember, I never really lived with him since he was much older than me, but he would come and visit every Wednesday. He lived in San Diego, and then we lived in Orange County. And he would come visit, and he was, very well off at a very early age. And he would come with his Dodge Viper. He had a 2003 Dodge Viper. He had a Hummer H2 and a Nissan 350Z all at the same time. So that was a huge motivation for me because they were true idols of who it is that I wanted to aspire to be like. So when people ask me who is it that I really looked up to, I looked up to anyone that loved what it is that they did. I loved talking to my professors that truly are extremely passionate about the fields that they teach in, and what it is that the impact that they have on their students. Just like also when you hear the story of like Elon Musk, right, being so passionate about creating this form of innovation, just because that's where he's just very passionate and he's very creative in that specific field. It doesn't even have to be something so extreme or extremely rewarding when it comes down to the monetary aspect. But I was just someone that just loved speaking to people in the careers that they were extremely passionate about, and that was something that really motivated me. I really loved hearing the passion behind someone's, field of work, regardless if you're a store manager, regardless if, you sell lemonade, regardless of what it is. If you love what it is that you do, then 100%, I think that should be what you dedicate, your time and really your time to. And it will pay off eventually, at least for a majority of us. And that was really just it. So for all those that are asking who it is that I looked up to, it wasn't not necessarily like who it is specifically, but it was kind of this idea of an idol that I looked up to. And I looked up to anyone that, was working in a field that they were extremely passionate about, and that could, easily be expressed with the work that they put out. We all know those teachers and those professors that we knew they hated their job, and we could see that because of the curriculum and the structure that they formatted the classroom in, and that was completely clear, right? We hated those classrooms, but there also, I could remember, my English teacher, Mr. Henry. I'm sure he doesn't even watch these videos, but he was someone that was so passionate about. I had him for AP English, and he was someone that was so passionate about what it is that he was teaching, and just that idea of the passion that was behind that form of success, regardless if it was rewarding when it came down to him being wealthy or not, the impact that he had on people, and he knew he was doing something that he loved. It's not about, working and making the most money every single day, but just truly enjoying what it is that you guys love to do. So if you guys, when it comes down to, asking, what career you should pursue, since that's a very common question that I get, or when it comes down to, you thinking about what major you should, try to choose for the next 4 years, it's a very difficult question. It's just, invest your time into something that you think that you can be extremely passionate about. It doesn't have to be the most rewarding when it comes down to money. I mean, it doesn't hurt if it is, but that's pretty much it. So sorry about that if I went off in too much of a tangent. Let's talk about Trisbg is saying, do what you guys love to do. So, all right, let's get right to it. So I'm going to start reading a couple of the tickers that a couple of our traders called out, and I'm going to start breaking those down. So the first one is by Emilio, and that is Taz. So Taz and MRK. Let me go ahead and break this down. So what is it that I think about? Is it Tal or Taz? Let's see. It's Tal. Okay, so Tal in 180-day analysis has been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. It does have nice little pullbacks, and I guess this is one that I've broken down before. What the heck? My trend lines are already here. So we've already called out or known this previous support. That's so funny, and it bounced there at that same support after its earnings. So because of that previous support, we waited for the break above EMA, and it continued that uptrend. So what is it that I would do as an investor before taking a position in this specific stock? I would wait for the break above the EMA. So basically last time that was around $28 to $29, but the EMA has to catch up a little bit. So if it pumps up and then pulls back and it's still not at the EMA, that's not long-term growth. It hasn't really confirmed that. So something that I would set an alert for is when this EMA line starts to really catch up, I would say wait for the break above about $29, get that confirmation that the stock is actually trending up long-term. And this can be, a couple week hold or a couple months hold, depending on how long you plan on investing in this specific company. But it shows that it offers a lot of potential for profit, especially in the price point that it's in right now. I mean, you can take a very aggressive approach and try to purchase now. And if it goes below, the set support, then you can cut losses if you feel comfortable doing that. But if not, I think a more conservative approach, something more that I would take, would be I would wait for the confirmation that it's starting to show signs of an uptrend on this 180-day analysis, wait for this break above EMA on this 180-day analysis, and when it gets that confirmation, then I don't think it's far-fetched for you to, for me to come down to the conclusion that I think TAL, based on its 180-day analysis that's showing signs of a solid uptrend, that this thing will continue to trend up. Obviously, it's going to hit resistance price points, but overall, it has an overall resistance at about $36. That's 20% potential for profit if you wait for the entry at 20. What was that, like 29? So yeah, I think this is a great call out. Wait for the confirmation, and that was by one of our traders, Emilio. So great call out on that one. I really like it. MRK, thank you for calling that one out. MRK. I'm going to add actually TAL to my watch list. Okay, so again, these are all people that are part of my mentorship program. They either use our scanners or they find these stocks themselves. And that's one of the really cool things. So it looks like MRK, again, I don't know any fundamentals or any news on why the stock saw a huge drop, but it looked like it had its earnings. Again, a huge sell-off during its earnings, which offers huge potential on the bounce as it recovers that huge loss. But I want to look at something. Whoa, what the heck? It looks like it's had a previous resistance at $64. So that's its current support. So from bottom to top, oh, it offers 10% potential. Wow, that's actually not that much. I mean, that margin's pretty huge. Okay, it's a $50, almost $60 stock, so that's why. So it's still showing signs of a solid downtrend. It even closed lower than where it opened at, so that's not a really good sign. So I'd say simply wait for that confirmation of an uptrend, wait for this thing to start breaking resistance levels, and I think that this could be a good quality pick. Do I think that this is going to be the most profitable one out of all the stocks that we have? No, but it's not about that. It's about what you feel comfortable trading in, because it's a little bit of a higher price stock. Even if it drops, the $3 or $4, the percentage, if it drops, $3 or $4, it's like a fraction of a percent, and it's much easier to manage a risk on these specific stocks than it is on lower cap stocks. So that's the beautiful thing about this. I would set my alert to see if it could actually break above $58. The reason that I say 58, it looks like it built a previous support. If we can see that right before the market closed, it was consolidating at $58. So again, like we know, old support levels become new resistance levels. I want to look at this at a 1 year analysis and kind of get a better understanding that if it's ever dropped this low, has it recovered? It has never dropped this low. It dropped previously to about $60, maybe to lows of like 58, but dropped to lows of like 59, 58, 50. So I guess it wasn't horrible, but that was quite a while ago. So let me look at a 3 year analysis. Okay, so it's okay, well, now that makes a little bit more sense if you could see why it pulled back to that lower price point. But it's still showing signs of a downtrend. So regardless of what the case may be, long term, it is showing signs of a consistent uptrend, and it's been kind of consolidating at that price point. I would obviously look a little bit more into the company, see why it had such a huge drop, maybe look a little bit more into its earnings and its guidance. Again, this is a lot of money that a lot of people are investing in, and you should have an understanding of what it is that you're investing in. So with that being said, I do think that this thing offers great potential. It's just waiting for that confirmation of an uptrend, and I think that the reward would be much more realistic once we get that confirmation of the uptrend. So good call out on MRK. AAXN, that was by our boy Dan. Alrighty, so it looks like we have a previous support here at about $22, and then we have a slight resistance. So it already got the confirmation, so that's great. This could be a great stock to look forward to for this upcoming week. So it looks like it's consolidated here at around $22 before. Resistance that it's hit before as well. So we might not get the break right away, or might not have it run right away at $23, but it does offer a good amount of margin. Let me look at it a little bit more big picture. Okay, that's a very common trend. We could see there, we could see there, and then the previous resistance levels that it has about $24. So that's great. I think that this one has a really nice setup. Let's do a 90-day analysis and get a little bit closer. It's definitely trading above the EMA. So as long as we get that confirmation that it continues to trend above $23, this could be a solid swing trade. $24 being a resistance and $25 being another resistance as it continues to rise. So again, identify the margins of profit, the low points, the high points, the supports and resistance as it continues to rise. And this can be a huge stock. If it continues to rise from $23 to $25, it's showing solid signs of an uptrend. That's 8%, almost 9% potential for profit. Again, not huge, but realistically, if you can lock in this profit consistently, you just have to ask yourself, is this, talking about or trading all these, better quality companies, is this something that you would like to invest in a little bit more? So let's go ahead and hear or see what it is that the group has to say about the different stocks that they would like us to break down. So we have a couple people calling out different stocks. Let me go ahead and start out with Okay, so we have people calling out XXII. XXII. Alrighty. So XXI was one that we called out. Unfortunately, saw a huge downtrend, and we're not getting that confirmation of that uptrend anymore, and that's definitely not a good sign. It does have a previous support, as we could see right here, at about $2.20 to all the way to lows of $2. But it does have a lot of potential for an uptrend. The reason that I say that is if we look at XXII big picture, it is showing signs of a consistent uptrend. It's not a perfect picture, and it does have sell-offs. So with that being said, is it 100% guaranteed that it's going to continue to rise? No, and that's why we wait for that confirmation. So I would like to stay a little bit away from XXI because of how low the price point is right now. I think if it's at 228, then it has the potential to drop down to 220 to even lows of $2. So with that being said, I'm simply going to set my alerts. If it breaks above 250, then great. It can become and come back into my watch list. That's a little bit more relevant. But XXII right now, because it's seeing signs of a downtrend, isn't showing much signs of an uptrend. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, let's go ahead and break this one down. Good call out. So it's LXG. There we go. So this is going to be a little bit of a lower cap stock. This is not necessarily something that I try to focus on stocks from around to $1 to $100 now, just because I'm focused. If anything, $5 to $100, just because I'm focusing a little bit more on swing trading. But this is something that was actually brought to my attention by one of our traders. It popped up in one of our scanners. And the reason that this one really started to pop up is there's certain news that's supposed to be coming out that supposedly can be huge for the specific stock. I would look a little bit more into it before I actually make a trade itself. But it's LXGTF. And with that being said, within the past couple of days, it looks like it's rising in almost 5-cent margins. So again, it is showing signs like we usually focus on consistent uptrends from its initial bounce at $25. So for those that are looking to be a little bit more risky, right, trading lower cap stocks, and as it continues this uptrend, right, so we want to make sure that we invest in something that is showing signs of consistent growth. We can see that the volume has really picked up. I would definitely look into the company and see what the future potentials or where their guidance is at and what they're kind of looking for. It looks like they're a bioscience company. So there's probably some studies or some research that's being done that's expected to be released. So I have my alert set here at around $45. The reason that this one was brought to my attention is one of our traders, again, this one popped up in one of our scanners as in a stock that has been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. And as it continues to break these resistance levels, I called out the margins, if you guys can see right here, in 5-cent increments. So from 30 to 35, from 35 to 40, and then from 40 to 45. So I'm waiting for the break above $45. Once it breaks at $45, again, it continuously shows signs of an uptrend. And this is a lower cap stock, so just make sure that you're aware of that. If it breaks the trend and it pulls back, there's always this form of risk that you should have. So understand how important it is to follow with your stop losses. I personally don't like holding any stocks less than $1 overnight, and that's just my approach. It doesn't have to mean anything to you, but it's been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. So I think that this is a potential stock to possibly add to your watch list if you see value in it, and if not, you definitely don't have to. And these 5-cent margins are pretty decent, because from 4 to 45 cents is about 12%. So just to put into perspective, it took about 4 or 5 days for that to actually happen. So on average, being able to make 3 to 4% a day isn't horrible, especially if you can catch the low points and the high points intraday. I'm actually going to break it a little bit closer and see kind of how it reacts. So I think it has a pretty predictable trend on where it pulls back to its support levels, right, around 41. And then its high point's 45. So just waiting for that confirmation. And I'm also going to set my alert, because if it goes below $40, then it becomes irrelevant to us, right? Because it's showing signs of a downtrend and it's breaking that consistent uptrend. So with that being said, it wouldn't really make much sense to me to trade this one if it's showing signs of a downtrend, because that's not something that we do. But yeah, just wanted to break that down. That's a little bit different. We do have Brad, who leads our OTC stock group, and he's one that does very well with that market. Actually, I'm doing a video with him this week because a lot of you guys don't know, he's one of the top group leaders that we have. And he made like I actually don't know if I can disclose the figure that he made with the different stocks he was trading, but it was in the tens of thousands of dollars. And he made that within like 2 or 3 weeks of trading. So definitely if you're ever into like, you know, the OTC stock market, he's going to be your guy. And he's one of the featured channels within my YouTube. So feel free to check him out. All right, so I have people calling out FNF. And then I also did want to, there was Angel who called out a specific stock that I didn't get to. There we go. JASO. So let me go ahead and cover those two. I'm really sorry for the longer live stream. JASO. So JASO, let's see it big picture. Okay, solid signs of a consistent uptrend. It shows a pretty decent trend of, you know, the pullbacks, the waves. It pumps up, pulls back, consolidates, breaks above EMA. That's why I think that it's so important. Hits a new high about, what was that, 850 almost. Starting to consolidate again here around 750, so that makes sense. I think that this thing offers huge potential. If it continues to show signs of an upward trend. I think if it breaks below 750 and continues to fall back down, then it's breaking that trend, and I would, you know, wait for it to indicate more of a solid uptrend. But I think that this is, I don't know anything about JA Solar, so I would look a little bit more into it and why it would just continue showing signs to have a fundamental reason. But this could be huge on the potential that it offers, because if it could, it looks like it breaks new highs every time that it has a wave up. It offers about 13% potential for profit right now. Let's look at it at a 1-year analysis. Oh, that is a 1-year analysis. Oh, and that's perfect. It's consolidating at its previous resistance. Do you guys see that? So its previous resistance was $7.50. That's becoming, that became its new support. That's where it's consolidating and really starting to hold. So I would wait for the break as the volume starts to pick up. If you guys can see, the volume really starts to pick up when it starts to increase. It becomes more relevant. Does that make sense? The demand is there, and that's what causes that increase. That was actually after its earnings as well. So with that being said, its volume was really present. The reason I can see that, it's these blue bars that you see here. It was very irrelevant as it was consolidating, and then it became more relevant. The volume was actually a lot higher as it started to show the signs of a consistent uptrend. There's no, you know, you guys can set a volume alert. I know Fidelity offers that specific feature. But until then, I don't see any reason why this stock would continue trending down. But simply set your alerts. I think that's a very simple thing to do. I'm going to set my alerts. I think that this one offers, because it offers double digits when it comes down to percentage for profit, I like adding them to my watch list. So thank you again, Angel, for calling that one out. Angel's been one that's been doing very well within our group. I think that's why he continues to pay for me just to break down that stock. But thank you again for that, and feel free to direct message me within the Discord chat, Angel, if you want to discuss a little bit more in detail any other stock that you see value in. So thank you again for that. I'm also going to put an alert just if it goes below, just so I can know that I can remove it from my watch list. I'm going to add this one to my active watch. Let's go ahead and talk about the one that you guys just said. Let's see. What the heck is this guy doing? Get out of here. All right, I actually like that specific stock, and that's why I'm going to do it. You didn't put it in the ticker format that we. Okay, all right. I'll break them down very quickly. IMGN. This is one that had a huge pullback and a huge downtrend, and it just broke above EMA. And this is why this is one that someone within our mentorship program called out. And this is why I'm breaking it down, because I actually see potential in this one. It broke above $5.50. It does have an earnings report coming up soon, but I think that before that, its previous support was $6. I think that it has the potential to actually hit $6 before its earnings. So I think that's a good call out. Big picture, I would wait after its earnings if I really wanted to swing trade this one. Just because I wouldn't feel very comfortable holding it over its earnings, as I know nothing about the specific company itself. I'm trading much more in a technical format. But the reason that I see value in it on this 180-day analysis, its previous resistance and its previous supports, as we could see, numerous times, previous resistance right here where it would consolidate is $5. That's why we called out the bounce. This was within the mentorship program. We called out IMGN because of one of our traders called it out, so we just broke it down together as a team, and they've been doing very well with that specific stock. They're up more than 10% on that trade alone, so that's huge. I don't know if you guys saw, but in my Instagram, so the link is down below, I called out one of our traders in the month alone. He's up 25%. So for people that trade, these momentum stocks, don't think that's huge. But when you have a sizable account, he's up about $10,000 on the month. So that's huge. It's all about focusing on consistent growth and trading quality stocks. And he's one that, has reacted very well to the lesson library and the mentorship program because he's willing to dedicate the time and be disciplined enough to trade quality stocks. And it's all because of the hard work that the members put in that, you get what you put out. And that's the easiest way that I can put it. So IMGN, I'm going to add this one to my watch list as well. I think that this is a pretty relevant stock. And it's already breaking and showing signs of an uptrend, and it's done that in previous times as well. Just the earnings is the only reason that I'm kind of like, I might want to wait off on this one. But for even intraday trades, it grew 9.63% all in one day. So obviously it does not offer, it offers huge potential intraday as well. So I would like to follow up with this one on Monday, just because I think it might have a little bit of a pullback or a sell-off since it grew so much on Friday. But the other one that we've called out before, the one that I sold my position on, is FNF. But it's been showing signs of a consistent uptrend. It just broke its resistance at $36, and it's been trending up ever since. It's nearly, or it did end up hitting $37, and it just continuously shows signs of an uptrend. So again, investing in stocks that's showing signs of a consistent uptrend, if this is something that you see value in, and obviously this is Fidelity, multi-billion-dollar company. It's not going to be huge growth that you're going to see like 100% return or anything like that. But if you like focusing on consistent growth, then this might be a stock that you might want to add to your watch list. Let me go ahead and add LXGF. I just wanted to follow up with this one on Monday, so I'm going to add this one to my watch list. Alrighty. Man, my battery's going down on the computer. Alrighty, guys. So how old do you have to be to start selling and buying stocks in Iowa? So it doesn't matter what state you're in, I don't think. It just matters, what country you live in. So within the United States, you have to be 18 to open up your own account. But there are certain brokerage companies that do offer custodial accounts, which just means you need your parent permission to open up that specific account. That just requires one extra step. So feel free to reach out to a broker that you feel comfortable, trading with. I tend to use Fidelity and TD Ameritrade, but feel free to use any one of any broker that you feel comfortable using. So, but make sure that it's okay with your parents. All right. And that's really just it, guys. So I don't want to take too much of your guys' time. We've actually been live for almost about 1 hour. So thank you guys again for joining us for the Sunday Stock Talk. I'm going to go ahead and put everything in a nice little PDF format, and then I'm going to share with those that are part of the mentorship program, just so we're prepared and hitting our goals on a weekly basis. If you guys would like to be a part of, or would like to learn a little bit quicker than watching, my 500 videos on YouTube on how I invest in the stock market and how we experience consistent growth by trading quality stocks, it's going to be the first link in the description. The November session, so the first session that we had for October sold out. The November session just sold out, and now we're taking applicants that would like to be part of the mentorship program for the December session. So we're actually sending out a link today for all those that are part of the Learn, Plan, and Profit lesson library and mentorship program. So you guys can enroll for the November session because, well, we have all your emails saved and all that. So we're going to reach out to you. Please check your spam folder. Please check and just check your emails because we're not responsible if you don't actually enroll. If we pick you for that session and you don't enroll, then you miss out. So we just want to make sure that we get you all situated. Check your spam. If you have not received it and you're part of you were guaranteed the spot for the November session, then direct message me. But you need to continue getting in contact with me so I can do something about it. Because if you just don't respond and you don't reach out to me, then I don't know how we're supposed to communicate. So the best way to reach out to me is within the TechBot Solutions Discord chat. If you guys would like to be a part of TechBot Solutions, the Facebook group is down below. It's the 5th link. It is all provided free for you. If you would like to learn a little bit quicker about what it is that we do by investing in the stock market and the different markets that I invest in, such as real estate and the buying and reselling of different cars, then the lesson library would be the quickest and most efficient way kind of to learn and how to get started. I do offer a mentorship program in monthly sessions just because I want to make sure that I can provide that quality. And if I have, the thousands of people that we have at TechBit Solutions part of this mentorship program, it's not going to be very effective just because I do a one-on-one video call on a weekly basis with each and every member, and then we do private daily calls as well. So thank you guys again. I hope that this breakdown, you learned something new, and hopefully you guys have a goal set, right, on a weekly basis for a percentage growth goal that you want to experience on a weekly basis. You have a set list of stocks. So I usually try to focus around 2 to 3 stocks to look at that I'm about to trade for this upcoming week. And with that being said, I don't have to listen to all the noise that everyone is saying. There's nothing wrong with participating in the group chat, but just sticking to your plan and focusing on stocks that you see value in and just doing your own thing, right? So if you guys have any questions, you guys know how to reach out to me. Please don't email me with any emails that are provided in the comment sections. I don't give out my emails there. My only email that I respond to is info@techbutsolutions.com. If you receive another email, then it's not mine. Thank you guys again. And like always, guys, continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives you and your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year under green out. Take care, team.